Wait. Stay on this video. Do not leave. Where are you going? You saw the title of this video and you thought, James is spoiling the season 9 finale of Love is Blind. That is wrong. I've actually not seen the episode yet, but today I want to talk about some of my predictions before the finale drops, because I have one prediction that is probably going to make you fall out of your seat. So let's get started. What's going on, you guys? James here, and today, yes, we're getting into all of my predictions for the Love is Blind Season 9 finale. That's our weddings episode in Denver, Colorado, which debuts Wednesday morning. It's like 3:01 Eastern Standard Time, so your boy's going to be up watching it really late, technically really early, but I'm going to be sleep deprived, but I'm going to bring you my recap. I'm going to bring you all the jokes. We're going to get into all my commentary. So don't forget to turn on those bell notifications after you subscribe to the channel. And if you are subscribed, thanks so much, y'all. God bless you guys. We are over 30,000 subscribers. What a blessing. And get loud in the comments below when you're watching this predictions video and let me know, do you disagree with me? Or do you really disagree with me? Because I know y'all are going to come for me in the comments, and that's okay. That's totally fine. But I do have one prediction, like I mentioned, that's going to surprise you quite a bit. And hey, if you haven't already, like this video so more Love is Blind fans can find it. And yeah, it's about to be a time. So let's get started. After last week's run of episodes 10 and 11 on Love is Blind Season 9, we were left with only 3 remaining engaged couples. And I know what you're thinking. There were 5. This ain't Subway. No $5 footlongs here. We got 3 engaged couples left, starting with Jordan and Sparkle Megan. I can't believe I still am saying that. Then we have Kalybriah and Edmond, who, rumor has it, is still in the doghouse. He's still in the doghouse. That's what I've been told in my ear. I don't have an earpiece. And lastly, Anton and Ali. And I'll be honest, y'all. For Anton's sake and maybe his liver's sake, I really hope they make it, because if not, someone keep all the alcohol away from him. I'm scared for the man. And last week we did see 2 couples that broke their ties. Oh man, for them, love is not blind. Sorry, Lachey, you can't use that line with them. But we had Joe and Madison break up, and I had my thoughts. Trust me, and I still do. I mean, Joe, for the streets. And then we have Nick and Annie. And let me be honest, Nick and Annie were never going to last anyway, but it did not end how I thought it would. I thought they'd get to the altar. And I was curious to see Annie's hair on wedding day. But yeah, it was not a very good breakup for both of them. It ended in either arguments, tears, or both. And it was rough, y'all. But both guys in both of those breakups were like, I'm chilling. Especially Joe, who said he is quote unquote relieved. Homie. Wow. But yeah, I also have another breakup here. Justin, Jordan and his baked chicken smoothie also broke up last week. Please, for the love of God, I hope he just stops drinking those smoothies if him and Jordan, or him and Megan, get married. Please. So now I want to take some time to actually break down the coming up next montage at the end of episode 11 from last week. Now, you guys know me. I don't watch those coming up next segments because I want to give you my raw reactions to every single episode, not having any premonitions, but it's the finale. And this is a video where I'm going to do the research for you. So let's take a closer look at some of these very quick clips. And it starts with Megan's hand holding what I think is a black wedding band. It's got to be Megan's hand, right? And then we see Kalybriah in her wedding dress, meaning her and Edmond will be walking to the altar. That's going to be interesting. They better not roller skate to the altar. I hope Edmond, I didn't just give him any bad ideas. Oh boy. And then we see one of the guys with a pinky ring on, looking like he's ready to head to the nearest Italian restaurant and order a pasta fazool. Mamma mia, I'm telling you, man. I believe that's Anton. But I'm like, Anton, I know you're Russian. But for some reason, like that shot, it reminded me of like someone from like Italy who just got to New York. And after that, we see Ali hugging her mom while in her wedding dress. So Anton and Ali, of course, will be making it to the altar at the very least. Kalybriah is then seen hugging whom I can guess would be her mom, which I don't think we even met her parents this season. Kalybriah is then heard in this segment saying, I quote, "He knows me in a way that no one else knows me." What are you saying, Kalybriah? You think Edmond? You think Edmond knows you better than anyone else knows you? Maybe they deserve each other. And quickly after that, we see Anton hugging his mom. And then Edmond is seen in his suit with a pick in his hair. Please tell me, please, Love is Blind, tell me he will not be wearing that at the altar. I want Edmond to be like serious maybe once in his life this season. Please. And that's about all I could take away from this coming up next segment. So now it's time for what you really clicked on this video for. My predictions, y'all. Who gets married and says I do? Or I don't at the altar. All right, it's time to get into the mess, all right? Let's start with Allie and Anton. I believe that the officiant's going to do the whole, you entered into this experiment sight unseen and all that jazz. He's going to ask, or she's going to ask, Anton first. And he's going to say, yes. I don't know what yes is in Russian, but if you do, let me know in the comments. But he will say yes. And then they're going to go to Allie, and it's going to get super dramatic. Crazy music's going to play. Maybe Sabrina Carpenter music. Again, they got a budget this year, apparently. She's going to get asked next. And when the officiant looks at her, and then when Anton looks at her, and then everyone in the crowd is thinking, oh my gosh, what's going on? Allie's going to say, no. She will say no. I'm sorry. Allie don't love that man, and Allie's very confused about Anton. Is he an alcoholic? Is he a functioning alcoholic? Do I even want this? How will he make me clean? I cannot believe it. He wants me to pick up after myself, but I'm in school. That might be her first and third thoughts in her mind. But here's the thing. I just don't think Allie is ready to be married to Anton. If she ever will be, maybe they try to date and we'll learn about the reunion. Who knows? But here's the thing. I think Allie wants a very low maintenance marriage, if that makes sense. She's a high maintenance girl, but she doesn't want to put forth too much effort. That's just what my discernment's telling me. You know, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe she says yes as well, but I'm going to be honest and predict with you now. She's going to say no. So next up is Jordan and Megan. Well, they're probably going to be wearing those cowboy hats, at least to the wedding, dress and tuxedo, changing rooms and stuff. But if they wear them down the altar, please, they're ridiculous. Do not wear them, please. But the officiant will be asking Megan first, in my opinion. And Megan's going to say, yes. I think Megan says yes, genuinely. And I know some of you were saying, James, no way. Megan doesn't really think that he can be there on her level. Yeah, I know. Megan goes and plays tennis. She goes to Aspen and then has happy hour on the way back. Maybe takes an impromptu trip to Italy. Who knows? But what I do know is that Megan is tied in a very special and unique way compared to the other contestants to Jordan. Only because the other relationships don't really have an emotional tie between the two contestants. But Jordan's tie and Megan's tie is really determined by the fact that Megan's dad had diabetes and Jordan's son has diabetes. So there is this emotional layer that they have, and I think that's what drives Megan to say yes and to want to start a life with Jordan and Luca. But then the officiant's going to go to Jordan and ask Jordan, hey, Jordan. Oh, I can smell the baked chicken smoothie breath. But bro, give us your answer real quick. And he's going to say, no. He will say no. And the reason I think he says no is because of what he revealed in episode 11. He said that he feels like she's going to have to date down a social class for him. And all along, he has been saying, I don't want to be a moocher. I want to be able to provide for my family. But Megan makes $1 million a year, and she's willing to sell her house so that we can buy $1 million house in Colorado. So I just don't think that Jordan's there with Megan, and I think he might get a little scared. He'll get a little scared about the fact that Megan is not necessarily thinking so much about him and Luca, at least as much as he would like her to think. Yeah, sorry for them. And lastly, we have Kalybriah and Edmond, a roller skating duo made in roller skating heaven. I'll stop with the roller skating comments. But let me tell you, it is a miracle that Kalybriah learned how to roller skate that quickly. I mean, she went from almost breaking her legs in the apartment to going down the hill and saying, I don't got no speed wobbles. I got you. So they're going to walk down the aisle. It's going to be emotional. Edmond's going to be asked first. And before the officiant can even ask the question, I think Edmond does one of his little antics, right? And he says, yes, yes, a million times yes. Please, please. We made that joke already, I know. But Edmond will say yes. And then Kalybriah is going to be asked, of course, next. And there's going to be a very long, dramatic pause. And I don't even think she gives her answer first. She gives an explanation first and then gives her answer. So I think she'll say something like this. Edmond, we've been through so much together. Hot chocolates, snow bike dates, arguments. And I called you out your name, but let's forget about that. We've ridden bulls together, and we've had fun together. And I also called you out your name. But I want to do this with you because, well, she's going to say she loves him. But I don't think she does. So I still think that Kalybriah's answer will be yes. And I know what you're thinking right now. You might have actually already paused the video. I hope you at least liked it at this point. But I believe Kalybriah says yes. And I know I spoke about this with Sharonda from Pay or Wait on the live stream on her channel this past Saturday. But to be honest with you, both of them, well, we know Edmond said he's going to say yes regardless. And I think he still does because he has this anxious attachment personality. But Kalybriah will say yes because of the nature of couples who do get married on Love is Blind, right? They get more airtime. They get a People magazine cover. They get placement on social. It becomes an entire little PR tour of sorts, like a week or two after the weddings. They go on podcasts. Their Instagrams blow up. I believe she'll say yes, but mainly because it's a vanity reason. And this isn't me judging them as a couple, but I just believe that they're thinking more so about how can we best serve ourselves rather than how can we live our lives together. The reason I even think this is because after the very first argument in Mexico, I would say they have a little bit more time in Denver before they break it up like Nick and Annie did. But listen, I think Kalybriah is just so obsessed with making up and making nice with Edmond, and Edmond is just freaking out and brings home flowers from Publix, the 3 for $12 thing, you know what I mean? And says, hey, I'm sorry. And she says, you got to act like a man. And he says, okay, I'll do that. And she says, great. That's who I fell in love with in the pods every time. So they seem to continue to make up along the way. Do I think it's healthy? Probably not. But they're both saying yes at the altar. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and it will make for a very funny recap and review on Wednesday. But here's where I think if they do both say yes at the altar, here's what happens. The reunion the following week, which I will be covering too, of course. I don't think they're going to be together at the reunion. For me, it just seems like there's this trend with Love is Blind lately. Couples get married, they go to the reunion, they're sitting next to each other on the couch, but they're not together. They're broken up, they're separated, or they're divorced. Who knows? But they just won't be together at the reunion, in my opinion. So I do think ultimately this season of Love is Blind at the altar will go 1 for 3. But when it comes to the reunion, I think they're going to strike out because none of these matches were very good this season. This season, I'm going to be honest, a lot of talking points, entertaining, of course. When it comes to the actual experiment, though, I don't think it's done very well. So Love is Blind Season 9, I got more thoughts tomorrow. We'll see how they wrap up because I can't give you an overall assessment just yet. But up to this point, right, we've seen 11 episodes together. I just don't necessarily know if Love is Blind Season 9 is the strongest season of this show. I think that they need to do better jobs at casting. They got to make sure that they vet these contestants a little bit better. But also, man, the experiment's got to start having some validity back to it. It's got to have some juice again. It just feels like this experiment, at least in the US, has become a vanity project. So yeah, those are just some of the thoughts I've had over the last few weeks. But man, oh man, am I excited to cover episode 12, the finale. So get subscribed down below, guys, if you haven't already, so we can talk about it together and have that healthy conversation. And yes, if you are done being upset at me thinking that this was a spoiler video, don't worry. I know nothing. Just like Jon Snow, I know nothing. But on Wednesday, I'm going to know everything in this finale once I watch it. So in my video, I'm going to come at you fast with that thing. So please stick with me. Thanks for your support. And thanks for watching. So I'll catch you at the next streaming. God bless you guys. Yeah, I said my outro out of order. Dang it. Can we roll that again? Alrighty, guys. Well, there you have it. Those are all my predictions for Love is Blind Season 9. Thanks so much for watching. God bless you guys. And I'll catch you at the next screening. Nailed it. Nailed it. Unlike the season with its casting, I nailed it. Yeah.